Hey yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a Wednesday edition of the MoBettaSports Show. I'm your host, Antonio, aka Mr.MoBetta. And as always, we are going to be talking Texas sports. Today, we'll be talking Texas baseball in particular. It's been an up and down season for our Texas Longhorns baseball team so far. They dropped to 15-10 last night after taking a loss to A&M Corpus Christi 4-1. Yeah, after coming off a good series win over Baylor, which we dropped one game, is what it is. To drop a game to A&M Corpus Christi is just a really, really tough L. Man, let me see something real quick. I just realized this is all messed up in the background. Y'all don't care about this though, right? You don't care. Man, I don't even want to get into Dallas Cowboys sports. At this point, I know this is going off on a tangent already to begin the stream, but at this point, listen, I'm a lifelong Texas Longhorn, Dallas Cowboys fan. Since I can remember even watching football, though, the first two teams I ever watched, Dallas Cowboys, Texas Longhorns. I'm at the point with Dallas right now where I don't even know if I can continue being a fan of the team. I am so sick of Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, both of them. They make this franchise look so absolutely gosh damn pathetic. I mean, I know this is a whole different category to get into right off bat, but just the mishandling of not only the roster but of free agency it's egregious. It is really egregious. And it is becoming very apparent to not only the fans, to just the sports world, that Jerry Jones does not give a single fuck about winning. He don't care about winning. What he cares about is Dallas Cowboys brand. That's it. He cares about the brand being big. He cares about the millions and billions of dollars he's bringing in. And that is it. Bottom line. He does not care about winning Super Bowls anymore. He does not care about making it to the pinnacle of football. Because if he did, there were literally probably a dozen roster moves that he could have made in free agency that would have not only improved our roster, but shored up just massive holes that we have on that team. And instead, he chose to do nothing. Nothing. We got Eric Kendricks, who is now in his 9th year, I think, in the league, 10th year in the league, damn near at his end. And other than that, we have nothing. We have no running back. We have no linebackers. We have poor secondary. We have lost depth at the defensive line. We have lost two of our starting offensive linemen. And not only that, but now we have failed to reach a contract extension with Dak, which for all the haters out there who say that Dak doesn't deserve a contract extension, you just don't watch football, period. The man has won 36 games in the last 3 years. I understand the playoff woes, but you've got to understand that winning 36 regular season games in 3 years is not easy to do. And by no means has it been easy for us to come across in the last decade, right? If you've been a Dallas Cowboys fan since the 2000s, you have seen years and years and years and years of absolute abysmal football. Just like if you were a Texas Longhorns fan from 2010 to now, right? Or until about last year. Abysmal football. And at this point, I just don't see it. I just don't see it getting any better. Dak, if Jerry Jones and Dallas Cowboys really cared about Dak Prescott, they let him go. They would let him go to a destination where he is going to be loved, appreciated, and get not only the money that he deserves, but the playmakers around him that he deserves. And I'm not talking about offensively. Offensively, we're okay. Outside of running back, we obviously got running back problems. But on the defensive side of the ball, there are major flaws. And Dak, for what everyone wanted to talk shit about Dak, Dak Prescott cannot go make tackles at safety. He cannot go line up and play middle linebacker. He cannot line up in the interior of the defensive line. So for everyone that wants to blame everything on Dak Prescott, I don't know what else you want from him. And he can't go play 4 positions for us, right? I hate it because you see teams around the NFL, like the Houston Texans, excuse me. D'Amico Ryans over there is doing an incredible job building that roster. And the GM over there as well. They are doing an incredible job building a roster for success for the Houston Texans. They literally got me over here like, bro, maybe I need to hop on that Texans bandwagon. I've always liked the Texans, right? But that's not my team. Dallas is always my team. I just cannot stand watching what Jerry Jones puts this fan base through year in and year out. He went from, mind you, this is just, a month and a half ago. He went from, we are all in, we are going to do anything it takes to make sure that we shore up this team and that we are in contention for the Super Bowl next season, to just the other day saying, we got to win with less. How the fuck are we going to win with less when we just got our asses beat with more? We had more and we still got our asses beat. Where is the IQ, bro? Where's the logic? Where's the logic? I can go on about this particular subject all day long, but I'm not going to bore you to death, and I'm not going to infuriate all of you talking about Dallas Cowboys and the abysmal front office, I don't even know what you call it, front office lack of logic. I don't know. That's all I can call it. It's just, Jerry Jones is 98 years old. He's either got to die or he's got to retire. One of the two. Like, I cannot stand him. I can't stand him. He is the sole reason, Stephen Jones, the two reasons the Dallas Cowboys are literally the laughingstock of the NFL. The absolute largest franchise in sports across the world, and you have not even made it to an NFC championship game since 1995. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's it. I got to move on from that because it's already making my blood boil, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to start off this beautiful, wonderful, amazing Wednesday morning talking about Dallas Cowboys and their failures. I don't want to do it. Talk about it all the time. That's all we have to talk about Dallas all the time. So instead, I'm going to talk about Texas Longhorns baseball and their failures. Yeah, we got to go with the lesser of the two evils here. The only thing that is different about Texas Longhorns failures, baseball-wise, and Dallas Cowboys failures as a football organization is that the Texas Longhorns are a very young and inexperienced team, and they can get better. And David Pierce is getting them better, right? And they have a long way to go. Dallas Cowboys, not getting better. Period. They're just not getting better. You know? So yeah. Go ahead and get off Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry for the tangent to begin the show right away. We'll go ahead and jump straight into talking about the baseball team falling to Texas A&M Corpus Christi 4-1 last night. Another one of those that is just really, really, really unfortunate. This is the thing with a team like Texas, right? Uber talented. We see the talent. We know that this team can play with anybody in the country. They played up with LSU for a really long time. That game was pretty close. They've played with, they beat Tech. They won the series against Baylor. They know how to win, but they don't know how to win consistently and do all the little things right all the time. And at the end of the day, that is really what separates good teams from great teams. It's the little things, doing the little things right all the time. And with this Texas team, not only do they do the little things not right all the time, again, like I've been saying since the beginning of the season, since I saw the first stretch of 8 games, right? And I've said it time and time again, I know I sound like a broken record here, but Texas's pitching staff is not where it needs to be. And at the end of the day, no matter what you want to say, I understand that we only scored 1 run, which also is just unacceptable, completely unacceptable, playing a team like A&M Corpus Christi, who went into that game with a record of 12-16. They're a losing team, and they came out and dominated us on the mound. They dominated us at the plate. It simply can't happen, especially when you have as talented of a team as Texas does. Now, we go and look at this game. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, actually. We cycled through how many pitchers in this game? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers. We literally went through 7 pitchers against Texas A&M Corpus Christi in the 13-16 Islanders. That is crazy. We didn't even get a run until the 8th inning, right? And it's not like Corpus Christi didn't just go crazy. They had a 3-run shot off Cole Selvig in the 2nd inning, a 3-run homer, which again, this is been one of my biggest complaints about Texas and its pitching staff so far. Outside of the inconsistency, it's just the fact that when teams come up, they're playing batting practice. They are going yard way, way, way too often. I mean, way too often. There are at least typically there's 3 to 4 to 5 home runs a game. And it's not in our favor. It's against us, right? And it's crazy. I've never seen so many home runs being hit against us. Now, to be fair, I've never seen us hit so many home runs this early in the season as well. But the difference between good teams and great teams when it comes to little details, things like that. Getting the ball on the ground, right? Not allowing the ball to be lifted into the air. Not allowing batters to just tee off, leaving meat pitches over the middle of the plate. Not having command of the strike zone. That is the most important thing when it comes to pitching. And I apologize for the noise in the background. I'm not sure if y'all can hear it or not, but apparently we have our landscapers coming through right now on a Wednesday morning, which makes no sense. You know, it is what it is. So you're going to have to endure the weed whacking for just a few minutes. Hopefully they're out of here relatively quickly. But anyways, back to the game now. So as we see here, not only did we not have a terrible outing as far as pitching is concerned, I mean, look at the stats when it comes to batting. Jared Thomas was 2 for 4. Kennedy, 0 for 4. 1 for 3, 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 0 for 2. Like, going 0 for against a team like A&M Corpus Christi it makes me want to puke. I'm not going to lie. Like, that is disgusting. And these are not like our worst batters. We got Max Bellew, who's been out here just jacking bombs left and right, up and down the field, and goes 0 for 4. Jalen Flores has been one of our most consistent hitters. 0 for 3. Kimball Schuessler even been a really great hitter. 0 for 3. We know Will Gasparino, as a freshman, has come out and done amazing things. He's gone 5 for 5 in series, gone 4 for 5. He's had 3 for 4 games. He's had home runs, grand slams. 0 for 4. Now, you got to give credit to the Islanders pitching staff, right? You have to give credit to them because obviously Jack Hill and Samuel Feltz went out there and they did their thing. I mean, look, they only 1, 2, 3, 4. They went through 5 pitchers. Did they necessarily have to? Probably not. But their pitching staff did really well. And our pitching staff, I mean, they just can't hack it, man. Outside of LeBaron Johnson, and now we're starting to see Ace Whitehead really show up and show out every single time he's up on the mound. Charlie Hurley has his moments. But other than that, man, we just don't have that. Just the pitcher that just fucking got it, man. That when he goes up there, you're like, boom, may as well just shut this game down, right? We don't have that guy. We just don't have that guy. LeBaron Johnson is the only one that's even close to it. And even then, he has his struggles at times, right? we have to have a guy or two, preferably like 3 or 4, that are just going to step up and are going to shut opponents down at the plate. And we don't have that. What we do have is pitchers that are going to go up and do well for a little while, and then they're going to get jacked. They're going to let up home runs. They're going to let up runs. And that's, unfortunately, at this point in the season, that's kind of just what we're stuck with, right? I've said it since the beginning of the season, and I'll say it again. The team is very, very young. They have a lot of learning, a lot of growing to do, and we're going to watch them learn and grow in real time. Now, don't get me wrong. They're still 15-10. They still have a winning record, right? And at this point in the season, that's better than a lot of teams. But we're coming into a really, really long stretch of conference play where we're going to be playing 3-game series left, right, and center. And it's going to take a lot out of this team. Right, let's go look at the schedule real quick. It's going to take a lot out of this team. We have Kansas State coming up this weekend, ranked 23rd in the country. Right, now they're not great, but they're better than us right now. Obviously, we got Abilene Christian, BYU. That should not be a tough game. That should not be a tough stretch of 4 games here. Before we take on Texas State, which we've already lost to once. Got a 2-game series against them. So we got some relatively tough games coming up over the next couple of weeks. And I'm just, at this point, I'm not really concerned so much about the overall record as much as I am concerned about how their play develops as the season progresses. Are the errors still being made in the field of play? Is the pitching staff, do the pitchers come out there and at least show a little bit more command of the plate and a command of the strike zone? I think that's one of the biggest things that kind of frustrates me about the pitching staff, outside of leaving just absolute slobber-knocking meat pitches over the middle of the plate. No diddy, which, you know what, we're not even going to get into that. Other than them not commanding the strike zone in that sense, too many times are we walking players. Too many times are we ahead in the pitch count and getting behind or allowing extra base hits. It's just too often. At the end of the day, it's just the fact that we just don't have dominant pitching. And that is just the most important thing in baseball. When it comes down to it, your pitcher is the most valuable player on your team. Your pitchers are the most valuable players on your team. Because if they do well and they do their job, it makes it easy on the rest of the team. But when you're leaving pitches over the middle of the strike zone, when you're leaving pitches high in the strike zone that are just lovely setups for home runs, and you're allowing the team, your opponent, to hit into gaps and to hit dinkers into the outfield, getting extra base hits, it just makes life hard on everybody on the team. The field can only do so much. They can only do with what they're given. They can only do good or bad with what they're given. But when your pitchers are giving up extra base hits, outfield hits, home runs, there's nothing anybody can do about it. And when you're having to cycle through 7 pitchers in a single game, that alone tells you everything you need to know about how that game is going to go. Cycling through 7 pitchers against a team like Corpus Christi is absolutely insane. And it's unfortunate, but that's, again, it's just where we're at in the season right now. Luckily, again, we're only 25 games in. We still have 30 to go. There's a lot of baseball left to be played for the season, and there's a lot of development still to be had from this team. And so as you sit and you think about the team and, you know, you reflect on their games and what could have gone and what they could have done, and When you think about the top teams in the country, the LSUs, the Vanderbilts, Floridas, etc., you just have to have patience, knowing that not only are we not as experienced as those teams are, but right now we are simply just not as good. And that's okay. You just have to have a realistic expectation for this team. Everybody, myself included, coming into the season is just assuming because Texas went to the College Baseball World Series last year, they're going to do it again, and they're going to do it in easy style, easy fashion. They're going to run through everybody, right? This is not the same team, for one. It's a much younger team. And it's a different season. New season, new team, new players. They have to learn. They have to get better. And again, as a fan base, we're going to have patience, and we're going to have to watch them develop in real time. We're going to have to watch them get better in real time. And so I think we just have to take a step back, and when you get really down on the team, or when you think, man, this team, like what is wrong with them? How do they drop games like this? You just have to understand that there's a certain level of maturity that needs to be reached, right? And they just haven't gotten there yet. And they will. Hopefully, it's before season's end. But what you can say, and one thing that can keep you optimistic, is the fact that this team is so young but playing so good or so close of games. Now, it's not always pretty. It's not always the way we want it to be. But they are definitely competitive and fiery. One thing you can say is the team doesn't give up. No matter what, no matter how many runs they're down, no matter how many runs they're up, the team doesn't give up. And that's something that we can be excited about and happy about, proud of, because once they start clicking, once this team gets it together, as long as they have that same mentality, that same dog mentality, that same no quit, no give up mentality, they'll start to really put some games together, put some strings of wins together, and ultimately they can have a really good run for the rest of the season. Now, you start getting to break even, and you start getting into losing records, or you start dropping games to teams like Abilene Christian or Houston, Corpus. There are some question marks and red flags, but until we get really closer towards the end of the season, I don't think we're really going to know how good this team really is or can be. We're seeing glimpses. We see flashes of how good the team can be. Take the Baylor series, for instance. I mean, we ruled them the last game of the series, 11-1. Smacking home runs, smacking grand slams. We've got like 3 or 4 grand slams this season already. It's crazy. We have tons of home runs. We're batting around. We got RBI galore. It simply comes down to our pitching staff. There's no two ways about it. Our pitching staff has to get better, or we're going to continue to drop games that we shouldn't drop. So hopefully we start to see them pick it up. We start to see more pitchers like Ace Whitehead step up into their role and really take control of the mound, take control of the strike zone, take control of the plate, and get some short innings in and out. That's really what we need. We're having way too many innings where we're out there for 20, 30 minutes at a time. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy. And that does a lot when your pitcher is throwing 35 to 40 pitches an inning. That's a problem. Of course you're going to cycle through pitchers like that because they can't keep up with that pitch count. And we shouldn't be having pitchers in that scenario in the first place. So, again, I trust David Pierce based on his resume since he's been with Texas, based on the things that we've seen from him for years now. I fully expect that David Pierce will get the team into full swing and they will get better every week. But having games like this where we regress so heavily and we lose to teams that we just simply can't and shouldn't, it gets a little frustrating and concerning. But again, I think we just take a step back, allow the team to develop, and just evaluate them as the season goes on. That's all we really can do. That's all we really can do. So, again, we have a series against Kansas State coming up starting tomorrow at 6 p.m. We'll be in Manhattan. So all 3 games will be played in Kansas. And hopefully, of course, the ideal scenario would be us going to get a sweep. But as long as we can at least take the series, I think we'll be okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at Kansas State's baseball team real quick, their schedule. I'm not really sure who Kansas State has played out of conference. 17-6. Okay, they're pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. 17-6 is really good. They're on a 9-game winning streak. Okay. But let's go ahead and take a look at who they played. Cal and Boston College, trash. Georgetown, trash. Trash. Tennessee got mollywopped. Clemson got whopped. Cincinnati, trash. Terrible. Canceled. Okay, so while they do have an impressive record, the teams they play absolutely suck, and anytime they played a decent team, they've just gotten their asses kicked. So it'll be interesting to see. That's kind of what I expected, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. Kansas State is not a baseball school, and I would expect that they're gonna drop some more games down the line, probably a lot more. They're 17-6 right now? Is that what I said? 17-6 right now. Yeah, I wouldn't expect that to last. Let's see. Let's go see who else they're playing after us. You got UCF. I saw that. Wichita State, trash. 1, 2, 3. Oklahoma, and we know Puke sucks. Oklahoma State, man. Omaha. I didn't even know Omaha had a university. It's crazy. TCU, Nebraska again, Kansas. And they could really get out of here with a pretty decent record. I'm not gonna lie. They just play a bunch of shit teams. Same as Texas, in conference at least. They'll probably lose all 3 of these games to TCU. Maybe pick up 1, but probably lose all 3. I would imagine they'll lose at least 1 of the 3 to Oklahoma as well. Yeah, we'll see. They're not it. Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. It doesn't really look like anything to be too scared of. 13 runs, 11 runs. I mean, Cincinnati was just whopping their pitchers. That's crazy. So, it's all right. Yeah, they're not that team is the ranking is the ranking and record do not reflect the talent level of the team. It just reflects the teams that they've played. Now, to be fair, they beat the teams they needed to. They should beat. We haven't. So they're one step ahead of us in that category. So yeah, man. Golly, look at this. This series against Washington kills me. I hate it. Washington has literally dominated Texas, and it sickens me, man. They dominated them in football. They dominated them in baseball. They'd probably beat us in basketball too if we played them. It's infuriating. I'm so sick of Washington. I'm sick of it. I really am. But yeah. All right, man. I'm not going to hold y'all too much longer. Just wanted to give y'all a brief rundown. I know we haven't been here in a couple weeks. I think the last series that we came in, we actually talked about was the Texas Tech series, which we picked up those wins. 22-8. That's a great looking score. Man, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I didn't expect us to lose any of these games. Definitely not against Washington. God, that just makes me sick. But yeah, I'm not going to hold y'all too much longer. Again, tomorrow we start the series against Kansas State. Should be a decent series. I would expect us to win the series overall. I expect us to win every series overall. I still think we're better. We're the best team in the Big 12, in my opinion. Outside of maybe TCU. Outside of them, I would still say we're the top, or at least top 3 in the Big 12. We just got to keep putting it together. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me, guys. If y'all enjoyed the stream, do me a favor. Just smack a like on it. It helps us get the word out. Helps us spread to the viewership, to the baseball community. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you aren't already subscribed. And of course, turn on those notification bells so you never miss anything we have coming for you. I'll probably be back later today or tomorrow talking some Texas football, because there's a lot of football news coming out and we got some really exciting stuff coming out of that. Steve Sarkisian has had himself a couple of interviews already talking about spring practice. Oh man, I love spring football. I love it just because we get to see all the new pieces, all the new players getting plugged in here and there. Now we're gonna get a very vanilla look at everything, but we at least get to see the Isaiah Bonds. We get to see the Trey Moores, who, as far as Steve Sarkisian has mentioned, has been an absolute force and an upstanding player and someone and leader on the team since he's been on campus, along with Andrew Makuba and Isaiah Bond, Matthew Golden. All these guys that have come in as transfers onto this team have taken leadership roles and have really stepped up in a big way, per Steve Sarkisian. And that's not even mentioning the young guys like Colin Simmons, or like Jared Gibson, or Christian Clark, right? Kobe Black, Wardell Mack. Some of these guys have really been mentioned a lot early already. And another guy who's been mentioned by Steve Sarkisian, who I am really extremely excited to play football, is Aaron Butler. He's one of the freshmen who Steve Sarkisian has mentioned several times. Andrew Butler, I made a video on him, or Aaron Butler, I'm sorry, made a video on him. I told y'all as soon as I saw him, I said, whoa. Now this cat right here, this dude could be a steal. Aaron Butler is a freak athlete. So it's going to be really cool to see all these pieces get some playing time, right? We have the spring game in less than a month, April 20th. Hey. That'll be coming up. Again, I'll get in more depth into Texas football. I know I've been slacking. And I apologize. I'm going to get better. I'm going to be back on it. We're going to be back here on a more consistent basis, and we're going to keep you really up to date with all the news, because there's a ton of stuff going on around Texas sports. If you haven't already, before I let you get out of here, I just got to give a quick shout out. Women's basketball, doing incredible. They're doing incredible. They are in, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're in the quarterfinals. Texas softball, doing incredible. Pretty much every sport outside of Texas baseball and basketball on the men's side are doing phenomenal. Basketball, they are what they are every year. Last year I felt like was an anomaly. I don't feel like it was an anomaly. This year was same old Texas. Close but no cigar. And that is just what it is. We're a football and baseball school, in my opinion. Well, that's not true, because we done won conference championships in track and field, swimming, tennis, golf, volleyball, won a national championship. Probably water polo, pickleball, wall ball, what did I say? Did I say water polo already? Yeah, whatever else you can think of, we're probably better at it. But right now, baseball team's struggling a little bit. I wouldn't say they're struggling. They still got a winning record. They're just not as good as I would hope. They're not doing as good as I would have hoped they would be doing. But nonetheless, they will get better, I'm sure. All right, man. We've already been here for 35 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Again, like the channel. Like the video. Just smack a like on it. If you got at least some quality information, if I gave you some information you didn't know before, just smack a like on the video. Please, it takes 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notification bells, all that good stuff. And we'll be back here again. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace and hook 'em.